Alright, good morning. First of all, Celsius. You see that little straw? That is a pro tip. Keep your straw in there so you don't get acidic stuff on your teeth if you're gonna drink a Celsius. Alright? Put it all in there on some ice. Keep your straw so you can bypass your teeth. Celsius. Alright, that's not sponsored. Today we're talking about the 20mm 1.8 lens for Sony, GM, I think. I don't know much about Sony. And if you're new to the channel and you're new to this little Sony series, I'm a Canon shooter, I'm Creative Ryan. I shoot music videos and I take photos. I make content on a daily basis for brands. And I'm just testing out Sonys to see what they're like. Go back and check out the other 3 videos, the FX3, the A7S III, and the intro videos so you know what's even going on here to give you some context. This Celsius is so good because I was so tired this morning. I actually slept in today because it's holiday week. My son, he's here. Hey, what's up, Ace? He's off for the whole week, so we're chilling and we're just living life holiday style or vacation style to say. Peach vibes. All right, let's move on. I'm shooting on the Canon R5 right now with the small tiny little 16mm RF mount, which has got a 2.8 aperture. I say that to say I don't have the Sony equipment anymore. I rented it from Aperture Rent. You would know this if you saw the other videos, so make sure you go check out those other videos. But I rented it out and I took that back. I shot all this stuff probably 2 weeks ago, but I wanted to talk about this 20mm 1.8 because it's a fire lens. First and foremost, the quality of it is really nice. I like a wider, semi-wide lens. I usually shoot with like a 24mm most of the time. That's my favorite lens. It's my favorite focal length. The Sigma Art 24mm 1.4, really low aperture or shallow depth of field, so you can get that good bokeh, really sharp lens. So when I saw this 20mm and I heard that it was good for vlogging, I got it because I wanted to test it on the A7S III. I also tested it on the FX3 and it was great on both cameras. I also rented out a Sony 24-70, which I did not like. I disliked it. I don't really like that lens because it's just too big and bulky, and the 2.8 doesn't go as low as I really like it to go, and I don't know. This is 2.8, whatever. The 20mm fire, it really impressed me. So if I had Sony, that would be my first pick of a lens, just because it's 20mm, so it's semi-wide. You can get a lot of stuff. You can come up close and get a good amount of close-up shots with it. You kind of have a good range of different ways to use that 20mm. Also, the 1.8. Nice bokeh out background. The fact that you can have a 20mm with a 1.8 and the lens be so small and lightweight, which we'll talk about right after this, is just dope. You can take great photos and get them really sharp on the subject and bokeh out in the background. Even with video, you can get up close to the lens and get the background bokeh out. You can get a grand picture if you bump your, if you bump your aperture up, you can get a grand picture and get a lot in focus and just get a nice wide focal length. I really like this lens. Probably the best thing about the 20mm 1.8 for that Sony is it's lightweight. It's very lightweight. So if you're vlogging, it's not bad on the wrist. It's not bad for holding up for long amounts of times. You could throw it on a neck strap, on a little clip on your bag, the Peak Design little clip if you want to put on your belt or your bag, and it's not too heavy with one of those light Sony cameras and then that light lens. I really like it because it's lightweight. It has some really sharp quality. The 1.8 is just perfect for me. I really like to drop that aperture down and get bokeh out backgrounds and get that shallow depth of field, whether I'm shooting video or photo. This is probably one of my favorite lenses that I've ever used in general, regardless if it's just for Sony. I wanted the 20mm Sigma Art, 1.4 or 1.8, for my Canons, but the thing about it is the glass on the front is round and you can't put a filter over top of it if you want to. The cool thing about this little 20mm for Sony that's 1.8, it's lightweight. Oh yeah, that Sigma Art 20mm that I wanted for my Canon was also heavy and big and bulky as well. So yeah, this 20mm for Sony, lightweight, and it has the flat front on the glass, so you can put a filter on it if you need to. I thought that was really cool because the 20mm for me that I wanted, Sigma Art, is the round glass in the front and the big lens hood that you can't take off, and it was annoying. I was like, dang, I really want this 20mm. That focal length looks really good. My boy YC Imogen had it at one time and I was like, yo, this looks really good, and I've just seen some great photos from it. So the fact that Sony had this 20mm 1.8 and you could put a filter on it and it was lightweight and the quality was just really, really sharp and clean and just nice. was amazing. Like I said, I tried the 24-70. I didn't really like it. I ended up using the 21.8 for almost everything. So that's really it. I just wanted to tell you guys what I thought about that 20mm lens. I think that's a really good lens. If you do have Sony, I think it's something to really look into, and I'll leave the link down below so you can go check into it. I really like the wide aspect. I really like that I could get close up and still get some cool stuff. I like that I could have it bokeh out a lot if I wanted to. It was just a good experience using that lens, and I wanted to share that with you all. Shooting with the Sonys was really fun. A7S III, I really liked it. The FX3 was cool. It was more of like a project camera. It wasn't like a everyday feel type of camera. As I'm sure most of you know that, you would use the FX3 for like a project if you were shooting like a music video or a brand commercial or something like that. The FX3 is really nice. The quality, if you haven't seen it, go watch the previous video. The quality was really sharp, and that was just on some simple hiking. We were just hiking and walking up a mountain and not really paying attention to the focus or anything. It was on autofocus, probably auto white balance as well. I can't even remember, but it looked good for something so simple. I can only imagine how good it would look if we actually dialed in the settings and really shot a specific project. A7S III, great camera all around, swivel screen, all that good stuff. So that's it. This is the end of this video. Ace, anything you got to say about Sony? Was it good? Aw, thanks, buddy. If you have Sony, or if you're thinking about getting Sony, look into the 20mm 1.8. It's fire. Lightweight, sharp, 1.8 bokeh, 20mm, nice focal length. 4 great pros. I have no cons for it. And that's it until we got one more video. Let's get it.